Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for such gracious introduction. Um, I started teaching when I was 13 years old in year 2000. And at that point in time, I started this journey not thinking ever that I would become an educationist. It was just to ensure that I managed to finance my own studies and be able to do justice to what I was doing. 24 years later, today, in 2024, I'm still teaching, but I'm still also studying. I'm currently a PhD scholar and pursuing my PhD in artificial intelligence and career guidance and counseling. So, although I'm millennial by age, I'm Gen Z at heart because I have always been a student since the time I started teaching to date. So in this journey, I have always realized that students are the change agents of this country. And students have this opportunity to ensure that they make this place a better place to live in. And hence, I realize that when I am an educationist, I am directly dealing with all the students who are the future of the country. And thus, I have a big responsibility. The responsibility that goes beyond the classroom. The responsibility that is not over when my class gets over. This is a responsibility that does not end when a student ends his journey as a student with me. Because once a student is always a student. And once a teacher is teacher for life. So being a millennial in this Gen Z stage where students are completely different than what we as students used to be is a challenge in itself because me as a teacher's trainer, tend to interact with not only the millennials, but also Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. When I'm in a classroom, I am usually surrounded by Gen Zs and Gen Alpha, whose attention span is not more than a reel. And hence, I have started thinking how to convert math into reels. I am thinking of trying to embed technology into the classroom in such a manner that I manage to help students engage within the attention span that they have. Unfortunately, the millennials or Gen Y like me had more patience where we used to go to cinema to watch 3-hour long movies. Today, the students can't hold attention for more than 2 minutes. And hence sometimes it feels that after every 2-minute lecture, there has to be a 5-minute break in order to help them understand what that has been taught to them. So I think there will soon come a time where there will be educational platforms like Netflix, maybe Edflix, where education will be given to the students in the same manner as Netflix provides them with the opportunities of watching lots of things. The students will get the opportunity of studying lots of subjects in a smaller duration, more crux knowledge, because all that is very important. And as far as I see the audience, I realize that lots of people from my millennials, from my generation, lots of Gen Zs are there. I also see lots of Gen Alphas and some even Gen X also, maybe. So it's a combination of all those who make the society. So in the society, we just can't live in our silos. We have to be there for each other, to help each other, to learn from our mistakes, to grow together, so that we can all succeed together and we can all build the society together. The problem with the curriculum that we have is, it's a rigid curriculum. We are trying to install Windows 97 into a MacBook. So these new brains are unfortunately not ready to accept that. These new brains need something different. We, or at least I, am from the age where I have seen the transformation from floppy disks to CD-ROMs to USBs, from landline phones, the ones with the analog landlines, digital transformation to iPhones and smartphones. So it has been a transition for me. And since I interact with all these generations, I am very apt with the needs of all kinds of people. But at the same time, despite meeting everyone, every child is a different child. Every child has his or her own needs. Their relevance is different. Their idiosyncrasies are different. Their strengths, their weaknesses, their inclinations, their aptitudes for learning are different. There are some students who only study when it is forced to them. They will only study when they will be told that if you won't, you will be reprimanded. And then there are a set of kids who will only study when you talk to them politely. They will only study when you will try to make the class an entertainment place for them. So everyone has their own learning abilities which are different from each other, and we need to accept it because every child is different with their own differentiated needs, and there is no one right or wrong methodology. And if a child who is studying under pressure, by no means does not necessarily is a weaker child. A child who loves entertainment and loves studying with entertainment does not necessarily is a time waster. There is a possibility that he or she, with their differentiated needs, can create amazing, phenomenal outcomes, not only academically, but even beyond. So if our syllabus is restricted to memorization, if a child of this age is told to learn formulas when he or she has access to them using their smartphones, their tablets, their MacBooks, their iPads, why should they? It's a question that remains unanswered, and it's a question that needs solution. Because with the technological advancement, if I create a comparative analysis of the millennials with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, we as millennials accepted what our teachers told us because we had limited access to technology. We were more obedient because we did not have the knowledge to keep our point. But with the students that have access to information in their hands, can challenge what is being taught to them, can challenge what is there in front of them because they have the knowledge and they have the access to the information that the world is providing. Their knowledge is not restricted to what the teacher is telling them. Their knowledge goes beyond the borders. It's global knowledge that they can encash from all the platforms that are available. And hence, the relevance of what is being taught is necessary. I understand that the curriculum that is being taught to the students, they are being tested on that. The curriculum that is being taught to the students are unfortunately graded on that, but that does not confine the abilities of the students. A child who might not be very good at math might be very good at arts. A child who might not be very good in sciences might be very good writer or a poet. So why not explore those abilities in the child and give the children that platform to perform well. So the first solution to this problem, that the curriculum that is being taught is not very relevant to the mindset of the students, is to make sure that the students have activity-based learning, hands-on experience to what is being taught to them. The students might enjoy the classroom more if the students know the relevance of the topic being taught to them has the connection with the real life. The student might be able to understand a particular topic better if he or she is put into a situation where he or she have to apply the knowledge that is being taught to them. The second and the most important thing is tech integration. Learning management systems are the need of the time. If children are given opportunity to learn through differentiated platforms, academic competitions through technology, they would be in a position to compete with each other, at the same time learn from those resources. Gamification is very important. The problem with the millennials is they want to give too much to the people who are around them. At the same time, they forget that the enforcement that the millennials are trying to do with Gen Zs at times is not appropriate, because it is not in line with what Gen Z is thinking. Gen Z wants the same thing, the same outcome, maybe the same exposure, but through differentiated means. They want it in a different manner. Academic sports can be introduced to teaching and learning to ensure that the students not only study, they enjoy what they are studying. The third solution is student-centric classrooms. As I mentioned earlier, the students are different. Their strengths, their weaknesses, their inclinations, their aptitudes are different, and hence there is no one size that fits all. So we can't just expect that I will teach through a single manner and I will be able to impress everyone around me. I will be able to make a few people understand, the others might not be satisfied. Then I must have the alternative method of teaching them. I must be in a position to help these kids understand, realize what is needed of them. Because these kids are from the age where they learn to walk later, but they learn to use their cell phone faster. Gen Zs prioritize mental health. If I think about students 15 years back, 18 years back, and I used to bombard them with lots of work, they used to be very receptive about it. Maybe they had no other option. They thought that if the teacher is telling this, and this is the way out, then this is the way out. But today, if I bombard students with lots of work, they have mental health issues. I don't know how far that's actually a reality, or it is just a scapegoat. They want breaks in between. They can't manage that much pressure. They have, unfortunately, negative thoughts because they feel they are being overburdened. The teacher is being cruel. This might be true, but unfortunately, some things are learned the hard way. And I am also trying to evolve myself into someone who's more humane, someone who's giving lesser practice material, but fortunately or unfortunately, the things that I teach, math and accounting, require lots of practice. And if I tell a child not to practice, and he or she will be able to ace exams, unfortunately, I will not be doing justice. So I have my own dilemmas attached. I have my own reservations to think about. But at the same time, yes, I have to be considerate about the mental health, because these kids have gone through a lot in COVID-19. If we put a reverse gear, or a few years back, we will realize that 2019, 2020, a few days back, the school teachers were telling, please don't bring phones to class. It's distraction. And after a few days, the schools were in the phones. And these generations, these Gen Zs managed to cope up with that just because they were so much into technology. We teachers got a weekend to move from chalk and talk to become tech savvy. So the children were more receptive to this idea than the teachers themselves were. So much so that we teachers learned a lot from our students. In the initial phase of transferring from chalk and talk to technology, the students taught us how to use Zoom, how to use Microsoft Teams, how to use Google Meets. And we realize that currently, at this point in time, there are lots of students who are more tech savvy than I am. And I have to accept and take ideas from them. I have to ask them, if I use this feature rather than this feature, how will it enable them into a better learning, into better learners? And there is no stop to learning, and there is no age to try and become better. I recently started my YouTube channel when I thought I'm too old to do that. But the intention behind that was to help students learn, to make sure that information is available for them, and I'm still doubtful whether I did a right thing or not. But as long as it is helping the masses, I think it's okay to do it. So I think that's it from my end. I hope all the Gen Zs and Gen Alphas will give us millennials this opportunity to evolve ourselves into better teachers and better coach for you guys. Thank you.